Lianne, you of course know the England team inside out. Are you surprised that Steph didn't make the cut? Right decision?
I think it's the right decision. It's a sad one because I played with Steph for a number of years, being a former England captain and stuff like that, but she hasn't played all season. I was at the Continental Cup final with talkSPORT and she was in kind of like in a cast. She looked like she'd had surgery and stuff like that. So I'd be interested to know. I mean, I'm sure they gave her everything they could to be in this squad and stuff like that, but she just obviously wasn't ready. And I think it'll be a shame, but I'm surprised he's not going there in any capacity. Not like David Beckham did a few years ago with the men. You know, he goes there because her experience is invaluable.
How do you know she won't be?
I thought that's what they just said on the.
I know, but nearer the time, do you think maybe things would change? Do you think they should change?
Yeah, I do. I think they do because you need your former captain around the squad. You need a mixture of youth and you need a mixture of leadership. You do, and a lot of these players haven't had major tournament. You know, they haven't played in major tournaments. And I think we could see maybe a formation change. You could see Alex Greenwood go into the back, like being centre back. So that might change the dynamic a little bit as well. But I feel for Steph a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's football, isn't it? It's pretty ruthless. If you're not fit enough to play, you can't go. But Fran Kirby as well. I love Fran, like I said, but she hasn't played. You know, she's had injuries and then a lot of other things as well. So I'd be quite disappointed if I was Katie Zellum and players like that going into this tournament.
When you look at, you said there, Steph Houghton, she's no longer captain, but now Leah Williamson is. I mean, what would the similarities be between the two, and what are we expecting from, obviously, Leah Williamson, the new captain? Yeah,
I think they're both very different in how they approach things. I think, you know, it's almost like all of our captains have been kind of carbon copies of each other to a certain degree. When Faye White was the captain, you know, and we have had Casey Stoney over the years, Farrah Williams captained the team for a brief spell. So I think Leah, I mean, at the England captaincy, it's one of those things, it's like, what do the players need? Is it what the manager wants? Sometimes we used to vote for the captain and stuff like that, but I think Leah has the respect of the team. I'm happy that Serena Wigman made that decision at this point because I think it was going on too long where, you know, Lucy Bronze has been... I thought Lucy Bronze should have been given the captaincy, if I'm honest. I think she's been arguably one of our best players ever, along with Kelly Smith, and that doesn't mean he gives you the divine right to be the captain. But I just think she should have been, in my opinion.
Do you know what's sweet? Because when you look at the caps, the amount of caps, and you see Leah Williamson's got 28 caps, there are people, as you said there, that have got far more caps. Lucy Bronze, 88 caps. I mean, Ellen White's got 106 caps.
Yeah.
So there are people that maybe a bit more experienced than her that maybe should have got the armband maybe before she did.
Yeah, I'd say that. I was surprised in that, but I think they're also looking to the future.
Yeah.
But what they can't do is take their eye off now. Do you know what I mean? It's all very well looking at the youth and the future and stuff like that, but you do need leadership in the team.
Let me ask you, your knowledge of this is far greater than mine, but I've done my research, right? So I know how important Leah Williamson is in the middle of the park, along with Kieran Walsh, is that right? Well, they link up really, really well. But also, I'm hearing and seeing good things about Lauren Hemp as well. How important is she to this team?
Yeah, she's massive, and I think if they can find her the ball, she's really... I mean, Beth Mead as well, for me, like, she's been one of the best players in the WSL this season. But Leah Williamson can play anywhere. She's very versatile. She can play in the back line. She can play in the midfield. She's played left back, right back. She can play anywhere. But I think, you know, with regards to ability, Hemp, Beth Mead, players like that will be what we're looking for because...
Do we have a weakness?
Oh,
I mean, everyone's got a weakness, right? So what would ours be?
Maybe in the back line. You know, potentially it depends on who's going to play centre-back. You know, Wubben Moy, for me, isn't really as good as a Steph Houghton on their day. You know, if I was to choose one or the other, when Steph was fully fit and Wubben Moy was fully fit, I'll be taking Steph. So it's difficult. And I look at this squad and I think, you know, there's a lot of inexperience. There's a lot of players in the squad as well. Nikita Paris hasn't really played this year. So we could talk about players that should have been there.
But incredible experience, right?
But experience, but hasn't played really at all for Arsenal. Sometimes not even getting on in games. So, you know, it's a difficult one. And then Ellen White, she hasn't had the best of seasons in the WSL, but she always comes alive in these tournaments.
Big tournaments, yeah.
She does. So you can't leave her out.
That's what I was going to say, because she's probably, I mean, I know Ellen really well. And how important, because obviously she's now getting on in age as well. This is probably going to be her last major tournament. You'd probably say maybe. They're going to have to look to someone now. You said there about Beth Mead. Her record for England is incredible. I think she's got 20 and 36 caps.
Yeah. How
important is it they do start looking beyond Ellen White? I mean, it's sad to say because, as you said there, every major tournament she steps up, scores goals. But of course, she can't go on forever. She's England's all-time record goal scorer.
Yeah.
She can't go on forever.
No. And this is the thing, it's almost like who will be the replacement?
Yeah.
You know, it is difficult because I just don't think... I think Ellen's the type of player as well that kind of came good later in her career because I grew up with Ellen at Arsenal when we were in the academy and stuff like that. And, you know, she bounced around from Notts County to Chelsea in different teams. And then at England, she was finally given the opportunity and she works hard. One thing with Ellen you're always going to get is her work rate is unbelievable. And she's always proud to play for England. But you're right. You know, and it comes down to team selection as well for this tournament because... Beth Mead for me has to play. Hemp has to play. Kira Walsh is good in the middle of the park. She's been good for City this year. So sometimes I look at that, the number 10 spot, and I think Ella Toon, I think if she plays, will do well. But Fran, like I said, she hasn't really played. And when Fran does get to major tournaments, apart from in 2015, she doesn't really do it as much as I want her to. She's a fantastic player. For me, one of the best players I've ever played with. But we need her to be at that level in a major tournament.